my ridiculous 24th year. Welcome and enjoy the ride. Barf bags are under your seats in case you need them, and you just might need them. So, I have this condition called obstructive sleep apnea, and I sleep with a CPAP machine. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. It means that I stop breathing repeatedly in my sleep, then my body freaks out in order to stop me from dying. This happens over and over throughout the night, 32 times an hour at my worst. My CPAP machine, which stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure, makes sure I'm always getting air so that I don't die in the middle of the night and so I get restful sleep. I'm basically Darth Vader. Luke, this is why I'm single. Who knew petite little ladies could get sleep apnea? I thought only really ancient large people get it. But no, I was diagnosed with a severe case after I graduated from college from UC Irvine at the ripe old age of 21. Looking back, this should have been a sign of a much larger issue, but what did I know? Flashback to 2 years later, fall 2014. I was living in Los Angeles in an adorable little apartment decorated with my grandmother's vintage furniture. I was getting my Master's of Fine Arts at Cal State LA in dramatic writing. I was singing all the time. I was dancing. I had a job. I was living. This was the quarter I headed the art department for a web series, wrote a webisode, created a sitcom pilot, worked 20 hours a week, and played Mrs. Cohen in Rent the Musical. But the whole time I felt horrible. I was wrestling with some pretty bizarre symptoms a seemingly healthy young woman should not be dealing with. These included, I was tired all the freaking time. I was so moody, could have committed a crime. I couldn't eat gluten and I couldn't drink wine. All of my friends said, shut up, you're fine. Oily dark hairs grew out of my chin. I was so depressed, I almost did myself in. My anxiety forced me to stay indoors, and the zits on my face were way worse than yours. My hands swelled and my wrist grew weak, and I only pooped once a week. Yeah, I only pooped once a week. Yeah, I only pooped once a week. And I thought I was pregnant. Not because I was having all of the sexy times, but because I was literally not breathing from my lady bits at all. So you can understand my concern. I got tested for a few things, but nothing came back. On top of that, the people around me didn't believe that what I was experiencing was actually real. Even my roommates. Flashback to our shared kitchen. Why do I feel so bad? Maybe I'll make something with kale that is dairy-free and lacking in joy. La 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 la, I'm probably dying. Hanna, you need to relax. Stop stressing yourself out. But I'm having all these really weird symptoms. Yeah, caused by stress. You need to relax. Lorel, are you a doctor? Like, I'm not willing my own hands to swell. That's not a real thing. That's not a normal reaction to stress. They said it was all in my head. And oh, how right they were. Winter, 2015. A theater conference in Utah where you cannot buy alcohol after 2 p.m. I mean 7 p.m. What a world. We were standing around, waiting for the bus, feeling good about the scene we brought to showcase and chatting about the scenes we saw, when I get a call from an unknown number. Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Hannah. This is Dr. Williams' medical assistant, Lisa.
Hi, this is Hanna.
Hi, I hope you're doing well. Dr. Williams just want to let you know that you're pre-diabetic.
What? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, it just means you need to eat healthier and exercise more.
Okay.
We have a class we can refer you to. Would you like to be signed up for that?
Yes.
Okay, great. You're all set. Do you have any questions for the doctor?
No.
Okay, thanks, Hannah. Good luck.
Thanks, bye.
Good luck? How can I be pre-diabetic? I eat organic spinach and whole grains. I don't drink soda.
I hid my tears as we rode back to the hotel. It didn't make sense yet, but it would. Spring break. So, I go back to my parents' house in the Bay Area, ready to cut carbs and exercise. No diabetes for me. I go for a routine dentist appointment, which I definitely thought about skipping. No big deal, right? Clean brush for a loss. X-rays.
I'm seeing some signs of arthritis here in your jaw joints. We better refer you to an orthodontist.
What? Like, I'm not an ancient, 20 million year old lady who's had 12 kids, but okay.
It shouldn't be too serious. We'll probably just give you a new mouth guard.
So, I go to the new orthodontist alone. There I found out that one of the main reasons you have sleep apnea is because your jaw is incredibly far back, cutting into your airway. This is caused by being small, the way you grew, but most importantly by the first round of orthodontia you received as a child. So, this is caused by the Netgear and braces that my parents paid for when I was a kid. Your airway should be like a thick milkshake straw, but it's more like 2 bar straws. You have the smallest airway I've ever seen. Awesome! So I get braces, again, at 24. The plan is to pull my jaw forward with the braces and then sign me up for a highly invasive reconstructive surgery to correct all the sleep apnea madness. I will have my jaw wired shut for 10 days. Super! I thought all my problems would be solved. Spring quarter. That quarter, I hosted a screening for our web series, worked 2 jobs, and commuted back from LA to the Bay for a teeth extraction and braces adjustments. I think I even went on a couple dates, but I felt horrible. My body seemed to be imploded, and it couldn't all be caused by my wonky jaw. So of course, I took to the internet. I cut out everything that was delicious. I was taking 1,000,001 supplements. I did yoga. I tried to heal myself with crystals. I was incredibly introverted and cranky. Sometimes I'm amazed I still have friends. Thank you, Todd. Here's an excerpt from my blog from that time. Yes, it was that bad. I needed a blog. I feel like a ticking time bomb. I don't know what to do. I don't trust conventional medicine anymore. I feel like I can't have a stressful life because it's slowly killing me. All I can do is do musical theater forever and have a sugar daddy. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid of grains now. Please send guidance. Love, Hanna. That summer, I decided to go home to my parents' house to be with my family and figure out what was going on with me. This ended up being a decision that changed my life and saved my life.
I saw my doctor when I first got home, and she said it'd be good to see my lady doctor, so I discussed my irregular lady business with her, and she referred me to an endocrinologist, also known as a hormone specialist, who then ran a bunch of tests. I became friends with all the ladies at the lab. After drinking fruit punch and testing high for growth hormone, I had a diagnosis for this rare condition called acromegaly. Acromegaly. Say it with me now.
Acromegaly.
Beautiful.
Acromegaly is caused by a benign tumor on the pituitary gland. Yes, you have a brain tumor wreaking havoc on your hormones. A fucking brain tumor. The symptoms of acromegaly include fatigue, puffy hands, irregular periods, oily skin, sleep apnea, excess hair growth, and high blood sugar.
Check, 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 check. And an MRI confirmed it.
Acromegaly is often diagnosed much later in life.
So, I was lucky to have found it so soon. A couple weeks later, I met with my neurosurgeon, and 10 days later, my brain surgery was scheduled. Turns out, it really was all in my head. I'm in the pre-op room, waiting to be taken into surgery, when this orderly walks in with this amazing energy. His name is John, and we ask him how he's doing.
Well, I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm walking, I'm blessed.
You are blessed. Wow, I didn't expect such a response. Thank you. Bless you. Bless you. It was a nice moment with a man whose job is literally to bring patients from one room to another, right before they took the brain tumor out of my head by going through my nose. The brain surgery went perfectly, better than my neurosurgeon expected. They used a tiny camera and all kinds of little tools to get that fucker out of my noggin, and they were very convinced they got it out, all of it. The brain tumor was encased in its own shell of growth hormone-producing cells, which they peeled out of my brain. Then they filled the hole in my head with fat from my tummy. I have a scar to prove it. Remember, the barf bags are still under your seats. I wake up from surgery, and the first person I see is John. John?
Yeah, it's me. How you doing?
I'm so excited to be alive. I have so much I have to do in this world.
You don't get to rob us of that. Nope, you do not get to rob the world of that.
I'm so grateful. Bless you. Bless you!
Then my mom walked in and we burst into tears.
Mom, I want to be an actor. I've never had this much clarity. Okay, you get to be whatever you want. I tell her what John said to me. I have to follow my dreams and help people become their best selves. Thank you for loving me. I was meant to encounter John. My friends organized to make meals for me after brain surgery. I hadn't understood the depth of the love my friends have for me. Thanks, guys. Immediate recovery was hard. My nose was dripping blood. I was shaky. And then I started to throw up and throw up and throw up. So off to the emergency room we went. I had low sodium or hyponatremia, which is a fairly common post-brain surgery complication. So they attached me to an IV and I hung out at the hospital for a couple days. No big deal, right? But they ended up discharging me too soon, before my salt levels had stabilized. So less than 24 hours later, I was back in the ER, now with an even more severe case. They limited my liquids, wouldn't let me have anything that I wanted. No one was listening to me.
The ER doctor. Well, I'm surprised you're upright and talking. You should be having a seizure right now.
That was encouraging. I was like one of those angry Grey's Anatomy patients. Where's my IV? Why is this taking so long? Don't you know that while I'm waiting, my levels are getting lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower? You stupid asshole! A nurse was nice enough to give me some magazines, but what are magazines when my pituitary gland is not regulating my body properly? I had the lowest salt levels my neurosurgeon had ever seen. It seems to be a thing. Can somebody give me a medal? Now, what's so scary about low sodium? Just eat a bag of chips, my sister said. But low sodium can cause paralysis, brain damage that's irreversible, a coma, and even death. And no one was listening to me. Things weren't moving fast enough. I was back in the hospital because of a doctor's mistake, and they weren't fixing it. My family friend, Dr. Mimi, was furious on the phone to my mother. It is unacceptable that they let her go home too soon. This is standard of care. You need to demand that she be moved to the ICU. My mom to the neurosurgeon. I'm concerned because I feel like she's not getting the care she needs. She's here because of a doctor's mistake and it needs to be fixed. Okay,
There's not much more we could do right now because her levels could go up too quickly, which is equally as dangerous, but that won't happen. We will monitor her very closely. Finally, at midnight, I was moved to the ICU, where they drew my blood every 2 hours. While there was a lot of uncertainty, my community rallied. My childhood best friend came and sat by my bed, crocheting for hours. Winnie and Kathy, my barista bushes, walked with me through the ICU. One held on to my heart monitor, the other held on to my IV, my hands in their other hands. My sister came home from college and immediately got on my bed, and we shared a bag of chips, trying to forget that maybe I wasn't going to be okay. Then, her levels are going up too quickly, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Dad. Okay. Now I'm really scared. And he started to cry. Nobody knew why it was happening. My kidney specialist was calling my neurosurgeon, who was calling my endocrinologist, who was calling my psychiatrist, who canceled my Prozac, which I'd been on for 6 years because it was possible that it was contributing to the salt levels. I went off the Prozac cold turkey, which you aren't supposed to do. We'll come back to that later. Things were looking bleak. We were scared, but I decided that it wasn't my time to go. I sensed my ancestors around me. My grandma Shirley, my grandpa Lester, my grandpa Ralph, my great-grandmother Rose, and even our dog Milo. I grabbed my leg, held it to my chest, and said, "Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing." Because that's all I could do. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. 2 hours later, a miracle. My salt levels had stabilized. My brain was healing itself. The kidney specialist came in. She's going to be fine. We're going to take her out of the ICU tomorrow, just to be sure. But you're going to be okay. You can start drinking liquids like you normally would. And we all burst into tears. That night, I started having visions for my life outside of the hospital. Voice lessons, dance classes, auditions. My life had been given back to me. That same night, the nurse gave me some melatonin to help me sleep, and thus I present to you Ponderings While on Melatonin, a poem.
Whoa, is this what drugs feel like? I can feel my life coming back to me. Thank you for my healing. It's like every thought is a revelation. Whoa, time seems to pass really slowly. I just realized that healing isn't just physical, it's spiritual. This is the first time I'm feeling better. I have a future. If every thought is a revelation, and you've had these thoughts before, then this is research. Oh, I gotta write this shit down. Oh wait, I am writing it down. I'm hella high.
The next day, there was a party in my room. Anything seemed possible. Here's a Facebook post from that day. Dear world, I just wanted to say this is the best I've felt in a long time. I'm doing so much better. And I want to thank everyone so much for their support and love. You guys make this life worth living. Love, Hanna. Then I became fixated on my IV. The first sign that something new was wrong. The next day, before I was discharged, some friends came by that I needed to see. My old friend Molly from middle school reminded me to slow down and say no to things when I need to. Tom brought me a decaf soy latte and said, "We love you, sweetheart." Deidre brought me citrine crystals to help manifest healing and creativity. And Jamie Forrest linked arms with me and reminded me to focus on me. Then I began to cry uncontrollably. Another sign that something wasn't right. I was finally home, sitting in the backyard. Sunshine, family, Chinese food. Everything should have been great. But I couldn't relax. I couldn't trust that I was actually okay. Suddenly, a monster of fear came over me. It took over my body and pushed real Hanna into a tiny little corner of my soul. I could barely communicate. My eyes were distant. I was gone. I had succumbed to fear and would never come back. I thought I was going to have to be institutionalized. A flurry of activity surrounded me. In the middle of all this, my friend Parker walked in, having driven 2 hours to see me. Real Hanna was so excited to see her best friend, but possessed Hanna felt differently.
Hanna's gone. She's not coming back. You should go.
Parker, hi! While my parents called the hospital and every health professional they knew, my sister calmly sat on the couch watching Gilmore Girls. As my parents frantically decided whether to take me back to the ER, she said, "Guys, she's just so scared that she's making herself sick." I pointed at her and tried to say, yeah. My parents put me in the shower at Dr. Mimi's suggestion to see if that would snap me out of it, but I just stood there in my soaked clothes turning off the water. Overwhelmed and unsure of what to do, I walked upstairs, lay on my bed, and let the battle rage on inside of me.
Fear has won. You're gone forever.
No, I'm still here.
No, you can't come back from this.
I'm stronger than you, Fear.
This is too hard. When you wake up, you should kill yourself.
I thought I was going to, too. Then I felt these warm, loving arms around me. Who is that? Shh. It's me, my sister said. It's going to be okay. She held me as I fought against myself. Then, in the final move, Hanna drove a stake into the heart of Fear, and it screamed as it disappeared within me. Ah! I woke up. I was back. My parents came in so relieved to see that I was okay. What I had just experienced is common for people who come off antidepressants cold turkey. Withdrawals. Did Parker leave? No, he's downstairs. Really? Send him up. He had stayed and waited for me. Sunshine, Gilmore Girls, Chinese food, we had made it. My parents took turns sleeping with me so that it wouldn't happen again. My dad took a month off of work so I wouldn't have to be alone. About 4 weeks into recovery, I was feeling much better and needed to get out of the house. Parker had already come to see me, so it was time for me to go visit him. Hanna's dream world. I get out of the car. The sun is shining and it smells like trees and magic. You run out to me barefoot and wrap me up in the yummiest hug. Then you take my hand and bring me inside, and there's a vegan, quirky, vintage, gluten-free tea party romantically set for 2. Then you propose, and we live happily ever after. Reality. You sing Suddenly Seymour to me as we drive up to Pinecrest Lake. We laugh and shriek as we wade into the freezing cold water. We get all gussied up for dinner, and you stay up late with me when I can't sleep because my new CPAP mask is evil and gives me these insane headaches. You're one of my best friends who saw me have an intense out-of-body experience and decided to stick around. And maybe that's better than a romantic tea party, because it's actually real. So life was going okay. It was a Wednesday. I was almost feeling normal. I went into our local grocery store to get some bread. And there he was, my tall, skinny deli man. The fella I had dated before I moved to Los Angeles. I wasn't looking for him, I swear. We make eye contact. I wave. He follows me around the store. Hey. My mom told me what happened. I'm so glad you're okay. Thanks. So I bought the bread. That night, he sent me the texts that I've been waiting to hear from for 2 years. I just wanted to say that I cherish the time we spent together, and I'm so honored to have it a place in your heart as you did in mine. I never regret that time. It was so good to see you. So we had lunch, And we hung out a few times, and maybe we kissed. And I thought, finally, I'm gonna get a boyfriend. This is what happens. You have brain surgery, and then the universe gives you a man. It's only fair. And then he stopped talking to me. These are the words I wanted to say to him, but never did. I have an immediate, visceral reaction to your face. It's really inconvenient. I should spray my eyes with mace. When I see you, my heart goes whoosh. When I see you, my lady bits go gush. When you see me, you stare at my tush, but you don't deserve me. You don't deserve me. And I still want you. And how does that serve me? How does that serve me? I feel like an idiot. You're so damn cute. Now get away from me before I puke. So you send me these amazing words. They finally come and they're just what I need. And then I realized it's after 9:30 p.m. and you probably have been drinking. I thought we broke up because I was moving to LA, but apparently it was because I liked you more than you liked me. But you said I love you first, you asshat. You said I love you first. It turns out brain surgery doesn't make you immune to rejection. It also doesn't mean your life will suddenly become a fairy tale. Poop. I'm neurologically different now, and that has presented some unforeseen challenges. Even now, almost 5 years later, some days are good, and some days I'm hit with inexplicable grief or irritability or anxiety. More so than before, my mental health is something I have to continuously manage. Is that something I'm going to have to reveal to my future person? Will they judge me for this? Will I judge me for this? Are you judging me for this right now? Since all this, I finished my MFA and we got 2 dogs! This is Maisie and Murphy and my dad, and they have really helped me heal. In the summer of 2016, I had my reconstructive jaw surgery, drank smoothies for 10 days, and on day 952, I got my braces off. In 2017, I had my professional theater debut, and last year, can you believe, I had a real live boyfriend, and that was healing in a lot of ways. So what's next? I went to grad school the first time thinking I'd become the next Tina Fey or Mindy Kaling, and maybe I still will be. But I think now I can do some good on a smaller level and still be happy, like live in a cute little house with my future person, do theater, go to farmers markets, have a pet hedgehog, try to make the world a better place. Currently, I'm training to become a drama therapist, having found a way to help people become their best selves and be an actor at the same time. Brain surgery changes a person and changes a life. And I'm still working on being okay with that. And that's okay. Thanks for listening. Love, Hanna.